Matt Eberflus, you have officially been kicked out of Chicago and smothered. The Chicago Bears do not miss you, and we do not need you. I'm your host, Aiden Gister, and welcome to ATG Bears Breakdown, where I will be reviewing the absolute beatdown between the Chicago Bears and the Dallas Cowboys, where the Dallas Cowboys lost 31-14. The Bears dominated. Caleb Williams in the offense, ecstatic. Ben Johnson, a bunch of creative play calls. The defense, especially the second half, 3 turnovers. This game, man, was so electric. Throughout the whole game, people were making big-time plays, and we're going to be reviewing that today. Before we get into the main part of the video, I have a question for you. After today's win, what is your outlook for this team? I'm going to tell you guys this. I feel a hell of a lot better after today's victory. Last couple weeks were very rough, and people were doubting the Chicago Bears, and I was doubting the Chicago Bears as well. But the offense is starting to hit their stride. The defense, even though they were missing a bunch of defensive starters, they were solid, especially the second half. 4 turnovers. That's what you want, and that's what you need from your defense. Well done. And overall, this game was electric, and I'm feeling really good going into the next couple of weeks here. Let's break down the quarterback first. Caleb Williams had 298 yards. He was 19 of 28 and had 4 touchdowns. Holy shit. That sounds like a franchise quarterback to me. I'm just saying. What a dominant performance by Caleb Williams tonight. He sliced and diced that Matt Eberflus defense up. He just looked poised, made a whole bunch of big-time throws, was pretty accurate for the most part, and overall looked like a really solid quarterback. And what's exciting too is that he had a couple of misses, which he just shouldn't have missed. And while you might take that as a negative, that means he has room for improvement, even though his game was so solid today. And I believe he had like an 144 passer rating after today's game. And just wow, man, that's excellent quarterback play. And props to Caleb Williams for turning this shit around from week 1 to week 3. It's looking amazing out here in Chicago. Now going to the run game, this wasn't as great. 75 yards total rushing. DeAndre Swift had 13 carries for 33 yards. Kyle Monangai had 6 for 16 yards. Overall, that rushing attack just didn't look very good. They gave DJ Moore a couple of looks, and Olamide Zaccheaus had a 12-yard run. But besides that, the Bears couldn't get anything going with the run game, and that is quite concerning. While Caleb Williams did show progress today and great things, we can't fully rely on Caleb just yet. He is still a sophomore, and we need to find some sort of run game going into the next couple of weeks here. I did like what Ben Johnson did with the trick plays, though. Kind of changed the looks, and the run game was more effective on some of those trick plays. But we need to get more regular running yards just from pounding the rock, outside runs, inside runs, normal runs. We need to get more production out of Swift and Monangai. Our offense in total looked very, very good. 373 yards total. Most of that during the first half, mainly because the second half we were just trying to waste the clock, which I'll get into. That's excellent game management by Ben Johnson. But anyway, Roma Dunze had a touchdown. Cole Kmet had a touchdown. Luther Burden had a touchdown. DJ Moore had a touchdown. The ball was spread out to all of our receivers, which I do like to see. I like to see everyone getting involved, getting into all the playmakers. It means that Caleb is processing his reads pretty effectively. The rushing wasn't as good. Passing attack looked phenomenal. Some of the trick plays, we had I think it was a 75-yard bomb to Luther Burden on a trick play that Ben Johnson dialed up. That was amazing. It was an electric play. It was the first play of the drive, I believe, and we just scored right away. And there are just plays like that all game where Caleb was throwing 30, 40, 50 yards downfield, and it was so electric. This is the Ben Johnson offense that people have come accustomed to, and I feel like it might be finally here in Chicago, which is really exciting to see. Now, the defense. First half was looking a little bit scary, but they got to the rhythm. They only allowed 14 points, which pretty good for a defense, especially considering last week's horrible performance. So I feel like they stepped it up. They had 4 takeaways, 3 picks, 1 fumble recovery, 2 sacks. The picks, 2 by Tremaine Edmonds, our linebacker. This was probably his best game as a Chicago Bear. He was electric. I think he had 14 tackles. He was all around the field. He did a phenomenal job. Kevin Byard had a pick in garbage time. However, it still helped seal the game. Um, Tyreek Stevenson, man, that fumble recovery in the first quarter where he ripped it out of Javonte Williams' hand, that was insane. Basically, what happened is I saw that Javonte Williams ran that 20-yard run, and I like kind of raged a bit because I'm like, damn it, dude, we can't stop the run. And then my friend over to me is like, yo, wait, we have the ball. And I'm like, what? He literally ripped the ball out of his hand, like Javonte Williams' hands. It was crazy. What a play by Tyreek Stevenson. And I feel like that gave the Bears a little extra kick to give them some motivation to try their hardest. So that was electric. Montez Sweat had a sack. Dom Rob had a sack. It's good to see that Montez Sweat finally got a sack, but he needs to do more. We're paying him $25 million a year, and he just isn't doing that much. He's not doing that much to earn that contract as of right now. So we need to see more out of him. But overall, not a bad day by the defense. I'm fairly impressed, especially since we were missing so many defensive starters. So props to them. If you guys are enjoying this Bears-centered content, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you can see all my future uploads. I'm going to be trying to post 5 videos-ish a week, and if you want to see Bears-centered content, this is the channel for you. Now, going into the coach, Ben Johnson has arrived, you guys. Ben Johnson, he coached a hell of a game. Throughout the whole game, there were just different things that he did. The play calling was amazing. It was balanced between the run game and the passing game. And while the run game didn't produce that much, we still found ways to get some run yards. Like he dialed up a bunch of trick plays to get that run yards. The trick plays, especially like the bootleg one to Luther Burden, like I was talking about earlier. Great play calls. Later in the game, when we were trying to seal the game, he called that 4th and 5. We scored a touchdown on that play. Excellent call by Ben Johnson to be aggressive there. Helped the Bears put the game away, unlike what they did week 1 against the Vikings. And yeah, just overall, he gave the team a lot of edge this week. I feel like this week the Bears played their asses off and played as hard as they could, were physical, and I have to attribute Ben Johnson to that. I think him telling the players that they weren't practicing hard enough earlier in the week kind of kicked them in the butt a little bit, and he got the most out of this squad. It was excellent coaching by all standards. And I honestly think that this offense looks explosive. It's clicking. It's starting to click. All the players seem to be bought in. Players are playing harder. The defense is playing better, even with the starters. And overall, this team is progressing very nicely. The first couple of weeks, especially last week, looked rough, but I'm starting to see the changes. I'm starting to see improvements out of all the players, besides Deshaun Wright. We'll get into him later. But yeah, overall, excellent game, excellent game plan. Players played excellent with drive, and it was awesome to see. Doesn't look like the Chicago Bears football we're used to, that's for sure. So, my new segment, Gister's Game Ball of the Week, and I actually have a player to give it to this week. We played excellent, and overall, the person I think deserves the game ball this week, it's got to be Caleb Williams, man. He was electric. He made so many big-time throws. He threw for 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. He had a passer rating of 144, and overall, man, the quarterback play today was excellent. And we haven't seen quarterback play this good since probably Jay Cutler, which is very exciting to see. And it's starting to look like Caleb might be that franchise guy. I know the first couple of weeks were a little bit rough, but he seems to be settling into this Ben Johnson scheme and offense. And it's exciting to see his improvement from the first week all the way to the 3rd week. And hopefully he keeps continuing to improve, and this offense will just get better and better. Now, there are a couple of improvements that we need to be thinking about going into next week. I know we just won the game, but it's also good to look at what we can improve so we can keep these wins coming. First of all, Deshaun Wright, you were horrible. You were dog shit. Every time Dak targeted a player that Deshaun Wright was guarding, it would almost always be a catch. Horrible performance. He let up a horrible touchdown. We didn't even chase the guy. He fell a couple of times. Just a horrible performance from Deshaun Wright. And I understand he's a backup corner, but like, we need more there. And Jalen Johnson's going to be out for a while. And if he keeps playing like that, man, it's just going to get us burned. So Deshaun Wright needs to play better. Darnell Wright needs to stop these fucking penalties. If you notice, Darnell Wright was injured for a little bit and went out the game, and we didn't have any penalties while he was gone. And then as soon as he came back, we had another false start. He needs to be more mentally focused, guys. He's a great player, but if he's not more mentally focused, then he can't become that elite player. He's killing drives basically with some of these false starts, and he needs to lock in and get that fixed. Caleb's accuracy, there were some throws that were left on the table, and while overall I think he played a hell of a game, just some of the simple throws he has to hit, check downs or just closer yard throws. But that's room for improvement. That's reps. That will come. I'm not worried about that. The run defense, abysmal. Javonte Williams pounded us so hard. He every run you thought they were getting a first down. It was bad. I think they averaged like 6 yards a carry, which is just horrible. We need our run defense to lock in because Javonte Williams, while he's been playing decent this year, isn't a top running back in the league. And this Bears defense, run defense needs to lock in, or else we're gonna get cooked by some of the better running backs later on. Derrick Henry, by chance. The rushing attack too. DeAndre Swift didn't look that good. Calvin Unguy had some promising stuff, but we just need to get more out of our running backs, man. It's not looking good on the running game. And Ben Johnson is creative and was getting some creative looks to get some running yards, but we just need to be more consistent with our typical runs, down the rock, outside, etc. We just need to be better there. And the defensive line pressure was almost non-existent until once we had a secure lead, and by that time, Dak was forced to throw far down the field. Then Montez Sweat got a sack, Dom Rob got a sack. It was looking a little bit better second half. But we need to start out stronger than that, or else we're going to get cooked by some of these better teams. Looking to the future, our next game, the Raiders. That is definitely a winnable game, you guys. We have to win next week. If we win, we're 2-2. Then we have a bye week. If we're at 500 going into the bye week, I'll feel pretty good about where this team's at. And just think about it, you guys. We have some easy games coming up. The Bengals, they just got cooked by Carson Wentz. I think they had like 5 turnovers. All I know is they gave me 33 points on fantasy, like the Vikings defense. So bravo. The Bengals are cooked. So that should be an easy win, I would hope. Vikings with JJ McCarthy back should be winnable. Honestly, the Giants game, Giants haven't been looking too good. That should be a winnable game. The Browns game, obviously, the Saints game, Steelers game should hopefully be winnable. So we have some easier games coming up in the near future. So if we can win next week and be 2-2, I still feel like there's a decent shot we can make the playoffs, which is exciting to see. Yeah, so the Raiders also got dominated this week and last week, I believe. And it's just, we have to win. The Raiders aren't looking like a great team right now. They can't really run the ball either, which is forcing Geno Smith to throw. He's been having bad interceptions, hasn't looked as sharp. So we need to take advantage of that. Their defense hasn't looked great either. The Commanders put up 41 points on them. And we just have to take advantage of that, man. This is a game we can easily win and will help our motivation going into the bye week. And the players needed this. Man, this win, you can just feel an energy shift in Chicago. For the last season, basically, the players were just not playing their hardest. The talk was all negative. There was so much Caleb Williams talk. And now there's finally some positive vibes in Chicago. And if we can get that win next week, be 2-2, I feel like the players will bust their asses off after the bye week and maybe make a playoff run. We never know. But I hope you guys really enjoyed today's episode. I am so glad the Bears won, you guys. They haven't won at home in almost a year. That's insane to think about. But yeah, man, it feels great to win. And the Cowboys aren't even like a bad opponent. They only lost to the Eagles by 4 and could have won that game if CeeDee didn't drop any passes. And I know CeeDee Lamb was out and Kenny Clark was out for a bit. He came back, but it was just a great win. We dominated. Even with CeeDee Lamb in, I don't think they would have won this game. So I'm proud of how the boys played. We got to keep this going. Go into the Raiders next week, win there, and I'll start feeling pretty good about this team. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you can see all my future Bears-centered content. I'm your host, Aiden Gister, and thank you so much for watching ATG Bears Breakdown, and I'll see you all in the next one.